Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to teach you some basics of C++ program. So if you want to learn the C++ program, then this is a basic video I am creating for those who want to learn C++ program. So please do watch this video till the end so that you'll get all the basic information which is required for you for the creating of your C++ program. So let's get started. First of all, you need to have a program called Turbo C++ in your PC. You need to download it. You'll get it in a Google. So just download it and download suitable. That is if you have the 32-bit PC, then you download for the 32-bit, and if you have a 64-bit PC, then download it for the 64 one. So now I'm going to teach you the basics of C++ programming. So now I'm going to Turbo C++. So this is the C program. So now the first I'm going to tell you about the basic structure, what you need to follow every time while creating a program in C++. So this is what I'm going to teach you. You need to keep it in mind while creating the program. First comes the comment section. So this section is added. This is a section used to know you can add anything which is not taken into considered by the compiler. It's just for our reference that about what the program belongs to while coding. So next comes the definition, the linker section. The linker section is used to add the header files which your program requires for its execution. So header files are the main part that you need to add in all the program that you create. So the header files always start with #include and it directive. So I'm going to explain about this detailedly in a example that I'm going to give after explaining the basic structure of the program that you need to follow while typing of this program. So this is how you can add a header file into your program, which your program may require. Header files are the important one. You can't miss any header files. So next comes the definition section. This section is used to add a constant to your program which you want to remain that thing or that variable constant throughout the entire program. So this starts with this starts with #define and a value. So this is used where if you have any constant to be used in your video. So next comes the global declaration section. This section is used to declare the variables which your main program as well as subprograms what you're going to create in this particular program. Can be used anywhere, any number of times, but if you declare that inside the main function, then it can be accessed only inside the main function but not in other subprograms. So next comes the void main. This indicates the marking of the main function, and this is written, and the code of the main function is written inside the braces. So inside the braces it contains a local variable declaration. So this is used to add the global declaration section is used to add variables which can be used by the subprograms in this program. Whereas if you write it as a local variable declaration are declared only inside the main function, and this can be accessed only in the main function. And this statement must be terminated with a semicolon. So the next statement is the executable statements. So even this has to be ended with a semicolon. So the executable statements are those statements which are used to execute say input output any statements or any values. Then you can use it as like the condition statements. Looping statement means if you want to repeat a set of statements or values again and again, then you can use a looping statement. There are many conditional statements, looping statements, and that I'm going to tell you in my upcoming videos. So this is a very basic thing that you need to follow while creating the program, C++ program. So now I'm going to give you an example for this to explain all these, like the comment section include a section, definition section, that is a global declaration section. I'm going to give you the full detail in the example. So let's head towards the example. So first, the comment section. The comment section can be added in two different ways. If you want to add a single line comment, then you can add it in double slash or forward slash. So this requires this comes only if you are adding a single line comment, or if you are adding a multi-line comment, then you have to add and end with plus. So this is used for a multi-line comment, but now I'm going to add a single line comment. Like I'm going to add program to find out the area of the circle. So this program I've chosen this program because this program helps me to explain all the structures, which all the basic structures like the basic design, like the definition section, global declaration section, everything I can explain through this program. So I've chosen this program so that you can understand and get more benefit from what is the different, like the linker section, definition section, all those. So now the first you're going to add is a linker section, and linker section always starts with a hash include. And the main there are three main basic header function which you need to add with almost in all your programs. So the first main header file is io stream .h. .h is used because to know that it is a header file. So next basic comes is the io manip.h, and next is conio.h. So io stream is used for the input and output stream extraction. That is, if you want to add input and output statement, then you need to have that io stream.h header file. And io manip is used to like design your output. Like if you want to have spaces, there are different functions to add space. So io manip means input output manipulation. So it is used to manipulate the input output functions, and the conio is used for the input output configuration. For the working of input and output, you need to add conio.h. So next comes the definition, like you know that if you want to find the area of a circle, then the formula for the area of a circle is area is equal to pi r square. So you know that the pi value is 3.14 and it never changes. So now instead of typing again and again pi is equal to 3.14, I'm just going to define pi as 3.14. So now since I've defined pi as 3.14, if you use this pi anywhere in the program for the computation, like for the calculation, it automatically appends a value as 3.14. So this is how you can define any constant if you want, if you have a constant in your program. So next comes the global declaration section, variable declaration section. So basically I'm not going to add because I'm not going to use any variable, like I'm not going to use a variable in subprograms because I'm not creating any subprograms. So since I'm using void main, I'm declaring the variables inside the main function. So now comes, there are basically 5 data types. So the data types are int, float, double, character, and void. Int data type is used when you have a number which is free of fractions, like you'll get just a whole number, then you're going to add it as int. If you have a number with the decimal points, then you're going to add the data type as float. And if you have a number larger than 32,000, so for the processing of that, you need to add a data type called double. And if you want to add any character, then you need to add it as character, that is ch. So now since you know that The radius of the circle can be anything, like it can be 3.1 to 5.5, anything. And the area, like you have already pi in the decimal point, like 3.14, so obviously area also comes in the decimal. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to add int. Instead of int, I'm going to add float as a data type, and I'm going to declare the variable r for the radius and area for the area. And you need to close this with a semicolon. Almost all the all the lines, like the one single line, has to be terminated with a semicolon inside the void main, and it's only for some exceptions, some statements you are not going to use the semicolon. So I'm going to tell you for which statement you need to add a semicolon and for which you need not in my upcoming videos. So next comes the option called CLR-SCR. So this is used to clear the screen after the computation. For the next time, if you have executed a program, and next time while you execute the program, then the remaining what you have before what you have executed will remain. So to erase that, you're using an option called CLR-SCR, which means clear screen. So next comes the output manipulator. Like if you want to output any statement or any values, then you're going to use a manipulator called cout, which means console output. So if you want to add any text, then you need to add it in the inverted commas, double inverted commas, so that it displays. Like I am going to add enter the radius of the circle. So even this has to be ended with a circle. So now I need to input r as a some value. So to input a value, then you have a function like the manipulator called cin. This has to be right shift, and notice that the cout contains left shift and cin contains a right shift. So you need to add different, don't add same. So now I'm going to add it as r. So you can see that while you execute the program, the first statement will be enter the radius of the circle. And if you type any number, like you can type 3 and enter, 4 enter, 500 enter, like that, and it's going to store the value as r. So next what you need to do is you need to do the calculation. So for the calculation, you are going to do area. Now you need to type the formula as area is equal to pi. You have already defined it as 3.14. No need of adding the value over here. Otherwise you can just, instead of pi, you can write like area is equal to 3.14 into r. So now area is equal to pi into r squared. So you can add the power function, but to add you have to include extra header file, that is math.h. So instead of that, I'm using r into r, which you know already, that's r squared. So now your calculation is over. So I'm going to cout. So what I'm going to cout is the area of the circle with radius. So now I'm not typing r because I want the r. I'm going to tell you why I've added r like this, not inside the double inverted commas. So with radius, r is equal to, you need to add area. So you need to close. You can see that all the statements have been closed with the semicolon. So you need to add or close all the semicolons. So after this, you need to have get ch. This is used to display the execution, like the result of your program. So if you don't add get ch at the end of the program, then it will execute your program, but you can't see the results. So now I've ended the program over here. So if you have any errors in this program, then error will be displayed in the top or bottom over here. So now I'm going to show you the different steps, that what I've used why like that. And so now for the execution, you need to click Ctrl and F9. So there is no error, and it has come, they enter the radius of the circle. So now I'm going to add it as 3. And you can see that it displayed twice. It means that I've done something wrong over here. So I'm going to execute it. So you can see that enter the radius of the circle. The area of the circle with the radius 3 is 28.26. So if I delete r from here, and if I include r inside the double quote, then it's going to display as R. So I want the value, instead of R, I want the value as 3. So to get 3, I'm not putting inside the double quote, but I'm putting it inside the operator so that it displays the value of R. So now you can see that I've changed it to R, and I'm going to show you the same. So the area of the circle with radius 3 is 28.26. So now what happens if you don't add getch in your program? So if you don't add getch in your program, while you compile, the compile button is Ctrl and F9. You need to press Ctrl F9 together. So now I'm going to execute. So it displays same. But if I type 3 and if I press enter, you can see that there is no display of any result. But if I add getch and if I execute the program, then you can see the result as 28.26. So now what will happen if you don't use CLR SCR in your program? So let's compile and check it. So now you can see that this is the previous value. The internal radius of the circle 3, the area of the circle with the radius 3 is 28.26. So now it continues over there and enters the radius of the circle. Now I'm going to add it as 5, and you can see that radius of 5 is 78. With the circle with the radius 5 is 78.5. So now again I'm going to compute. So execute. While executing, you can see that the previous terms all are intact, they have not erased. So now I'm going to add CLR SCR. So now if I compile this, so now if I compile this, then you can see that the previous values are all erased and you get a fresh thing. So now 5, and you get a area as 78.5. So these are the main basic things that you need to have in your mind while creating a program in C++. And the main things that you always need to have in your program are the header files which your program will require has to be put, otherwise it gives up errors. So, and the next thing what you need to add is the CLR SCR option. This is used to clear the screen of the before execution. And the last thing is you need to add the getch. That is for the displaying of your displaying of your answer, and you need to end all the statements with a semicolon. So in my next video, I am coming up with how to different types of errors, how to detect errors and how to debug them. I'm going to teach you in my next video. So if you like this video, then please do subscribe and also click on the bell button so that you won't miss out any important notifications or from my video about any new languages that you may learn in your future. So please do subscribe, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.